Ann-Margreth Bohl, and I'm a sculptor. I draw a lot as well, and I'm fascinated by rocks and light and sound. So those are probably the materials I use the most. And I like being out and about and stumble across things, random sounds that I pick up, bits of light that I see, and those are very often the things that I work with. But in the past I've made large installations, often involving stone and light and sound. So whilst I've been here during this residency, I've been drawing this drawing behind me, and based on a small rock that comes from the place where I grew up in Germany. And I've been over the past couple of months observing that small rock. And when this space became available, I thought, wow, I'd try out to draw really big, because so far I've done this drawing very small with my little sketchbook. I look at the object. I remember, with a magnifying glass, literally maybe 5 millimeters of the object. And I memorize the movement. Is it up? Is it down? When I'm looking at the silhouette, for example, of the outline. So the little marks you see down here, they're literally, I make one mark like that at the time. And also, some days within a year, the light, I always work with the light. So sometimes the light is very dull. And then rather than seeing crisp shadows, you see more the surface of the form. So then I work much broader. Rather than with the detail, I try to remember the stretch of the surface. And I guess the sort of big question also is to hold on to something that's almost impossible to hold on to, because the light in the moment, it can change so quickly. So everything that I remember is all relative, and I like to be challenged by those things that are actually always changing and never the same. However much hard I try, and a rock is the stillest thing you can remember, that you can work with. But even that, because of the surrounding, is changed all of the time. So my little clicky pencil is my favourite object. I take it everywhere. And why I like it is it's got graphite inside, and it's quite fine, and I use it on my black sketchbook. I tend to always draw on black paper, and it transforms, it basically becomes light when it goes onto black paper, and it feels like magic, and that's what I love doing the best, with my little clicky pencil. I would love to hang out really with Patti Smith. She's a bit of my hero. She's a poet and a rock star, and I find her a very inspiring woman. She's a similar age to my mother, and she's a very free spirit. I would love to sit in a cafe in New York with her and have a cup of coffee and just sit there with her and draw. And she would write her poetry, and every now and then we would just look up, and she would, look at my drawing, and I would just watch her writing. That's what I would like to do. So sound is really important to my work, and a lot of the time I like to just listen to the sounds that are around me. So wherever I sit, I just try and pick up what is the sound that is there, and how is it generated, who's making that sound. And when I, sometimes when I find my thoughts are just becoming a bit too heavy whilst making, I like to listen to music that is quite inwardly pointed, so ambient music. So the first time I have actually made drawings to sound is to music by Simon McCorry, who's a friend of mine, and he's a cellist and composer. And so I suddenly felt moved to draw to his to a soundtrack on his album Borderland. So it was the first time that I've actually drawn to sound. And so I find sound that's ambient frees my thoughts up, and then I can make really well. I try to have enough sort of space in my heart and mind and pick up the little things that are around. So it might just be, a rock that's on top of a fence, or it might be a beam of light catching the window and reflections bouncing about, or it might just be somebody sweeping the road and listening to the sound of that. So it's those small things that actually become quite magnified in my work, and also I guess I love really big questions. So I read a lot, and sort of questions that are almost impossible to answer, like how does time and space disappear in a black hole and things like that. So that's what really what drives my work on. Yeah, so it's been brilliant to have this empty space with white walls, big white walls, and to just move in and try out an idea and be really playful and experimental. So I just thought, I want to make those small drawings big. And thinking, having lots of ideas that, I will feel really quite free to do that, and to work as big as my body is. So I've worked with walking from one place to another, memorizing parts of this small rock, and then putting those marks onto the big paper. But I've learned so much about that. It doesn't necessarily mean you're suddenly all very free drawing or working large scale, because you're working with a lot of empty spaces when you close up. You can't take everything in, which is very different in a small drawing. And so those things, a lot of my assumptions about drawing and about scale, I had to chuck out. And I've got loads of new questions and new experiences thanks to this residency. So it's been really brilliant.